Hello students, this is part 2 of the chapter Disaster Management. In the last part, we had learned about earthquake. Let us now learn about fire. Now can you all tell me, fire is a natural calamity or a man-made calamity? Well, fire can be due to natural reasons as it is in the case of natural forest fires. It can also be due to man-made reasons when the fire may be intentional or unintentional by the humans. Now there are different types of fires. So there can be various class of fires. Let us first look at class A. Now the substance which catch fire by class A fire is the solid substance. So the fire of commonly flammable materials such as wood, clothes, coal, papers, etc. This is called as class A fire. Now how you can extinguish this fire? If you have to control on this fire, so we need to put out with water or by cooling it down. So this is class A fire and it can be very dangerous. Next is the class B fire. That is because of the liquid substances. So liquid substances catch fire and this is called as the class B fire. Now fire is caused by flammable liquids. Now there are many flammable liquids, like if we talk about petrol, oil, then we have various solvents, cooking oil, paints, etc. All of these are the flammable liquids and they can easily catch fire. Now how you can extinguish these fires? So it can be extinguished by fire extinguishers. Next is the class C fire. Now class C fire can caused in the gaseous substances. So the substances that cause fire, that catches fire, are the gaseous substance. So what can be the gaseous substance? The most common example is the LPG. In our home we have the LPG. So the fire is caused due to acetylene or any household gas, that is the LPG, that is called as the gaseous fire or the class C fire. Next is the class D fire. That is because of the chemical substances. So any type of chemicals when they catch fire, so it is called as the class D fire. Now how these substances will catch fire? Because they are combustible metal, like there is potassium, sodium, calcium. All these react with water at normal temperature, and metals like magnesium, aluminium and zinc, they react with water at high temperature. So explosion occur when these two groups combines with each other. So if any type of group, that is if potassium combines with magnesium, then it can lead to fire. So these are called as the chemical substances and this causes what? Class D fire. And if we have to extinguish this type of fire, we need a fire extinguisher. So we saw about class A, B, C and D. Next is the class E fire that can cause in the electrical appliances. So electrical components and its fittings can catch fire. Then for this we have to cut down this fire. We have to cut the power supply because it is caused because of the electricity, and if electricity is switched on, the fire may continue. And also you can use fire extinguishers, like, but it has to be a carbon dioxide in the fire extinguisher. And another is the class F fires, which can occur in the cooking appliances, which are insulated appliances. So if such type of appliances they catch fire, that is called as the class F fire. Now, whenever a fire takes place, so if you have to control the fire, first of all, you need to stop the fire, and second is you have to stop it from spreading. So we have to prevent the fire from spreading. So we can use three methods. First of all, we can use is that we can use the method of cooling. So we can cool out the fire by using water. Water is easily available and it is also the common and most effective method to cool down the fire. So water extinguishes fire and it causes what? It causes cooling. Next is to suppress the fire. So we can use substances like sand, soil. So these substances can be used on fire and it is used for extinguishing fire which is caused due to oil or electricity. Another thing is that keep away the flammable substances. If any type of flammable substances are there, so you need to keep away those type of substances from the fire. So for this, there are stir up pumps which are used to spray water in all the direction around the fire, and this will reduce the fire. Now, there are some precautions and safety measures that should be adapted, like switching off the gas regulator when it is not in use, or whenever we are going out, we should switch off the gas regulator, switch off the electrical appliances when they are not in use. Do not just keep the buttons on. Calling loudly and making others alert so that they can rush for help, that is also a safety measures. Then you can also call on the number 101 to get help from the fire brigade. To learn the use and operation of fire extinguishers, you should watch the videos that how fire extinguishers can be used. To also, you should take the measures by learning about first aid. So if you find any victim or if someone needs medical help, so you can help those person. So all of these precautions and safety measures can be adapted by all of us so that we can protect ourselves. The next type of disaster is the landslides. You must have heard about landslides. So these are natural cracks in hard rocks which results in their breaking at time of heavy rains. So especially during the rainy season, landslides occur. Recently also in this rainy season also in Mumbai only near that national park area, landslide had taken place. So landslides are very common in rainy season because of the cracks which takes place, and then the entire hilly region which is there, the rocks and all, it comes down. So the cracks, they widen up due to the flowing water which further causes weathering process. And as we all have learned about weathering, so these weathering process, the heavy rocks slide on the slopy regions and collapse to the lower slide, and such type of disaster is called as what? It is called as landslides. Then what can be the causes of landslide? So firstly, there can be natural reasons which can be involved, like natural disasters such as earthquake, tsunami, cloudburst, cyclone, floods. All of these natural reasons or the natural disaster can cause landslide. Another reason can be because of the humans intervention in the natural area, like excessive deforestation. We cut down the trees, and the soil which is there, it loosens up, it causes soil erosion. And as the soil loosens up, if the plants are there, then soil is attached to the roots. But if there are no plants, if there is deforestation, the soil is not attached to the roots, and indirectly what will happen, the loosened soil will flow, and this will cause what? It will cause landslide. Then another thing is again because of humans only, that is digging down. Mostly we dig huge areas and hilly areas, we dig at the time to build roads, and we make these roads in between the mountains. So what it does is it weaks the upper area of the mountain, and as the rocks and the soil gets weakened, and then it can slide down and result in what? Landslide. Now, what can be the effects of landslide? What will happen if any landslide takes place? So, rivers get flooded, river path can change, waterfalls are displaced and they can change their positions. Then trees are uprooted and the plant's life is destroyed, and indirectly our biodiversity is destroyed. Also, construction done on the slope, it collapses. Traffic is caused because of the landslide. Until that landslide is not cleared, the traffic keeps there. Flooding takes place. Then there is large scale loss of life, property, as villages get buried under the debris. Entire hill gets slided down and the entire village is buried inside. So the debris and the rocks can also fall on the railway tracks and the roads, and these things can be suspended for a very long time. Even the artificial reservoirs which are formed, these things also can be destroyed because of the landslides. Not only human loss or economic loss is also occurred because of the landslide, as the houses can collapse, and under the debris they all can get buried. The cars, if it is parked near the hilly region, they can be buried. So it indirectly causes what? Economic loss. Now, in all these disaster, there are disaster relief planning which should be done by each and every state. So, disaster relief plan is specially done to monitor, and it is done to manage the conditions when the disaster strike. They will check what type of disaster is taking place, what is the intensity of the disaster, how much harm that disaster can occur to us, that disaster can cause to us. So the urgent relief work is necessary during any type of disaster, and all of this preparation is necessary, and which is all done by the disaster management. And for this, disaster relief plannings are done, and this in this way the people can be protected. Either they can be aware about the disaster, or after the disaster also to rehabilitate them, to give them proper food, to protect their life, to resettle them. All of these things are done by the disaster management.